Aloha all. Michael here. Today I'm going to talk about the psychology of faith, and this will be the final section of chapter 1 of my new book called The Psychology of Religion. And chapter 1 is Psychology 101. So, faith is basically the trust in one's feelings as being a mechanism to guide us to discover the truth about something. And what I mean by that is really to tap into faith, we only need to trust our feelings. When we trust our feelings, we are more open-minded. We allow for information to come into our conscious state of being so that we can process it into usable information called knowledge. With being faithful, the more trust that you have in something that you cannot prove to exist, but that you feel deeply inside of you, then the more your belief system will grow so that you can maintain those feelings that will allow you to experience whatever that's occurring to you so that you may use it to better understand your reality. And really, it's a very beautiful system, and it works. When we lack faith and let's say we doubt ourselves, what happens is we predetermine that we cannot do something. So we may say, for example, that we may want to be wealthy, but then we second guess ourselves and we say, oh, well, I can't do X, Y, and Z, therefore I cannot make enough money to be wealthy. Well, you are basically predetermining something that hasn't even occurred yet, but it's still your own free will that is making that choice. So the psychological ramifications of faith are really quite interesting. There is all sorts of dualities that are part of our existence. And we have a physical reality and we have a spiritual actuality. And their symbiotic relationship is quite harmonious. We don't have one without the other. So if we take the time to pay attention to how we are currently feeling, we will be in a better position to perceive consciously our reality in a way that will make sense to us. When something makes sense, it's clear, it's also very peaceful because we're unafraid of getting to better know that which we are researching. We are allowed to know anything that we wish. So this idea that we're limited to any information is part of why we remain ignorant. So ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance will simply disallow your awareness to expand and will very often decrease your rate of consciousness. How do I know this? Well, I pay attention to how I feel, and I'm able to recognize friction in the form of linear time before I allow it to become irritating and painful and miserable. There are times when I do wish to experience these degrees of friction at higher levels so that I can better understand why somebody believes something that they do. One of my favorite scenes in Star Wars is when Darth Vader is using the Force to basically choke out one of the generals that's sitting at the table. And the classic line is, "Your lack of faith is disturbing." And yes, that's more disturbing than anything nowadays, is people's lack of faith. It's disturbing because it's disappointing. And although I understand why people lose their faith, what I am becoming more aware of is not so much why. The why is always because of fear. The way that I address these types of disturbances for myself is I allow myself to experience that feeling of pain and misery and fear from the other's point of view. So then I can remember why. And then I resolve and absolve my own disturbing feelings or thoughts, and then I become peaceful again. So this is what faith is all about. Trust your feelings, pay attention to how you are currently feeling, and you will know. You will know anything you wish to know. You will expand your awareness at the rate that you wish by using fear as a filter and allowing for an influx of information to be infused into your conscious state of being, your physical, mental, and emotional bodies, so that you can use that to transform that information into knowledge and become more aware. Namaste. I love you guys.